Welcome back, and we are back with another disgusting, incredibly sick Mo5 exclusive list. And well, the title says it all, guys. Remember, you chose to watch this. No one forced you, so let's just get into it. Here are 5 nasty human body parts sold in an auction. Number 5. Teeth. So guys, we are starting off today's video with a soft blow, and as usual, we slowly, one by one, graduate with the level of intensity. So do you guys remember when we were 5 or so, and our baby teeth would start falling one by one? That's when our parents would let us unknowingly hide it under our pillows, thinking we were going to get a visit by the tooth fairy, right? And we, as foolish and young as we were, believed that they supposedly put dollars under our pillows. Not our parents, but the tooth fairy. Well, this guy, who is a well-known deceased actor, turned out to still believe in the tooth fairy, or at least something like that. In 2001, late actor Corey Haim tried to auction one of his molars after the tooth fell out of his head, and to sweeten the deal, he included clumps of his hair. Fortunately, eBay put an end to Haim's auction, as selling body parts online violates its policies. However, Haim did end up selling them on another website for an undisclosed sum. Good for him keeping the dream alive. Number 4. A leg. If you thought the tooth thing was disgusting, wait till we reach number 1. But for now, at number 4, we have a story that is both distasteful and somehow touching at the same time. In 2006, a young man named John Wood was severely injured in an airplane crash, in which his father sadly died seated beside him. A year later, Wood had to have a leg amputated due to injuries sustained from the plane crash. In memory of his father, Wood decided to keep the mummified limb, storing it in a barbecue smoker. I know, what the hell. But wait, there is more. When Wood moved to live with his brother in North Carolina, the barbecue smoker with the amputated body part was somehow forgotten, and hence was auctioned on the market by the landowner. After a middle-aged woman called Shannon bought Wood's dead leg, intending to exhibit it as a tourism attraction. And again, what the fuck? And if that isn't enough, Wood sued the woman for his leg, won it, and decided to store it in his golf bag, but then changed his mind and stored it in his closet. Okay, now let's just take a second and let this oddly unsatisfying story settle into our vulgar yet innocent minds. 1. Why in the world would you put your cut off leg in a barbecue smoker, and then in a golf bag, and finally in a freaking closet? And 2. How sick was Shannon for wanting to buy, own, and show the world an amputated leg as a freaking attraction? Well, I can't judge anyone. Let's just move on to the next entry. Number 3. Stolen braids. Time for some zombie horrifying kind of entry. This unique entry is one of a kind. Not only is the body part itself outstandingly weird, but the story of how the parts were found, or at least taken, is something straight from a zombie rom-com. In 2014, a man in Michigan, USA, robbed a medical history museum, coming away with a huge amount of more than 60 preserved and pickled body parts. Well, we all have our hobbies and weird collections in life, but this guy wins the award for weird collection by far. Anyways, back to our story. Not being able to preserve the body parts in the correct way, the thief turned to eBay, but got caught for selling a great deal of brains, and guess for how much? For only $600 US. The most shocking thing in this entry is who could have thought that a human brain only cost $50 a piece? LOL. Number 2. Decapitated head. So I hope you guys are somehow enjoying this list by now, because this shit is just getting worse. A unique story comes in at number 2. On May 29, 2011, a decapitated head, or more of an actual skull, was put on auction in County Meath, Ireland. Stored in a wooden case, the skull was owned by an Irish family that acquired it on the group tour of Europe in the 19th century, and must have wanted to get rid of it after 2 decades. Although the recommended price was between 800 and 1,200 euros, the auction was won by a Hollywood actor for 3,500 euros, 4 times its original price. The buyer said to have wanted the head for its shocking value. Higher bids, including one reaching 10,000 euros, were offered, but were denied due to the family wanting the head to stay in Ireland. Whoa, here's a story you don't hear every day. One thing that still puzzles me is, what did the buyer end up doing with the skull? I guess we will never know. Number 1. A penis. And finally, here we are at the end of our freaky yet fascinating trip. Now, some of you might know this entry since it's pretty famous, but for those who don't, let me nourish your brains with a story that might stick with you for a long time. So of course we all know the grand and acclaimed Napoleon Bonaparte. While he was grand yet a tiny man, his height wasn't the only tiny thing he possessed, if you know what I mean. During this little man's autopsy, his penis, among other organs including his heart, stomach, were removed by the doctor. And don't ask me how or even why, but somehow the French Empress' penis ended up in possession of an Italian priest, whose family sold it to a London bookseller as a mummified body part, which was later sold to a bookshop in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In 1927, the much-traveled body part ended up being advertised in New York City at the Museum of French Arts, and finally was sold at an auction to American professor John Latimer in 1977, who by the way also worked on J.F. Kennedy's autopsy. Well, there you have another exclusive Mo5 list that might leave you with nightmares tonight. If you like this video, leave any video suggestions or topics you'd like me to do next in the comments and I will make sure to make them happen. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. Have an amazing night and try not to dream with Napoleon's penis. Good night, babies, and have a good one. Bitch, I wanna party like